All right, ready?
Yep.
So the control screen here, auto, manual, off. You can run the generator in manual from here, put the unit in off. When it's in off, the red light will be on. Also, if there's a fault, the light will be on. It'll tell you what happened. One thing that I always try and show everybody too, it says ready to run, hours of protection, and there's 0 hours. 1 day from now, that'll show 24 hours. A year from now, that'll show how many hours are in a year. That's just how long it's been here backing up the house. To navigate the screen, you put it in off, you hit escape, and see how the menus are flashing. You can use the up down arrow keys to scroll through. Go to like sub menus, for instance, go to maintenance, run hours. This is your true generator run hours that are on the engine is 0.2 now.
Actually
that's the actual running hours.
Yeah.
The other one is how many hours it's been protecting the house, available to protect the house. This unit does come with Wi-Fi built in. However, with the chip shortage right now, it was not shipped with a Wi-Fi module. They're just sending them out without it.
Okay.
So Jim should have got an email when I registered this with a link to follow to apply for that code. When that comes in, it'll go right here. So this will pop out, and there's a harness that's already there. You just plug in that Wi-Fi chip, and then you can connect the controller to your home Wi-Fi. So you just got to follow that code in the email that he received, and they'll send it to you as soon as they become available.
Okay. So, now, all right.
The auxiliary switch?
Yeah, here's the switch.
Yeah, so this switch here is just like an emergency shutdown switch. If that switch gets flipped, it'll set off a fault. It'll turn the light red, meaning that it will not run, and it'll say stopped auxiliary shutdown. The only time you'll ever see auxiliary shutdown is if one of those switches get flipped. The other one is right here on the inside of the firewall. So to fix those problems, you put it in off, fix the problem, and hit enter. That clears it, and then you can go back to auto, and the light will be green. This is set up to exercise every Monday morning at 10 a.m. It'll start and run just the engine for 5 minutes. It will not transfer, it just runs the engine. When the time changes, it'll be an hour off. It does not keep track of time change. But every Monday morning at 10 a.m. it should run. If you don't hear it run, as long as you see that the light's still green Monday afternoon, it means that it did run. Because it'll set off a fault if it tried and couldn't.
Okay.
While you're still recording, let's talk about that air conditioner module over here real quick.
Yep.
So this is a load shed device for the air conditioner. The light codes are right here on the display as far as what they mean. So what's going to happen is when you lose power, this contactor will open up and drop the air conditioner. The generator will start, the transfer switch will transfer. When the transfer switch transfers, everything in your house will have power except for the air conditioner, but just for the first 5 minutes. Once the 5-minute timer is up, the contactor will stop flashing because it'll flash when it's disconnected. And after 5 minutes, it'll close and go solid, and then the air conditioner will have power and it'll work. As long as the generator does not get overloaded, the air conditioner will stay on during the entire outage. It's only there for protection, just in case you overload it. It'll kick the air conditioner out and drop it off so that you don't damage the generator. One thing to know though is when you go back to utility power, the same process happens in reverse. So even though it goes from generator straight to back to utility, there's still a 5-minute delay. This thing will open for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes after you've went back to utility, it'll close again, and then it'll stay on the entire time. But there is a 5-minute delay when you won't have the air conditioner going to generator and back to utility.
Okay. So now, as far as like the different the LED flashes, is there anything that we should like look for, like if something's wrong? Or?
So the only thing that you should ever see, as long as everything's working, is when the air conditioner has power, the light's solid, and when it's shed, it'll be flashing. If you ever see no lights at all, then that's a problem. But shed is 1 second flash. If you see a 3-second flash or a 6-second flash, they mean exactly that. So basically, if the air conditioner caused the generator to become overloaded, it'll kick out and wait on a 30-minute lockout, and then it'll try and close again. If it stays on, it'll stay on. If it overloads the generator again, it'll kick out again, and then it will lock out indefinitely for that event. So just for that power outage, it'll lock out, but when you go back to utility, it'll close back in. So we don't foresee your air conditioner being too much for the generator, but we have to do it for inspections just because the potential is there to overload the generator without managing something.
Yeah. Okay, now, so if there's no light at all and you said that's a problem, what do we do to
You just got to give us a call.
just give you a call?
Yeah, anything with the system that goes wrong, just give us a call.
Okay.
So there's certain things, obviously, that would not be a warrantable issue. Something like that would be warrantable.
Yeah.
Generac does not cover under warranty consumable items.
Yeah.
So consumable items would be like the battery in the generator, the little controller fuse, and there's also 3 fuses here in the transfer switch.
Yeah.
Those are considered consumables, so if they fail, they won't cover those under warranty.
Yeah.
And warranty is just Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, normal business hours.
That's something simple we can get and replace though,
yeah,
right?
and there's spare ones for the transfer switch here as far as that goes. I just let you know that just because that's something that's not warrantable is a consumable item.
Yeah.
So the way the transfer switch works, you have your incoming utility power comes into the top of the breaker. This is a disconnect for the whole house, and it goes out the back and into the house.
Yep.
This is the generator feed to the front. So what happens is whenever you lose power, the generator senses that, starts up and provides power here, and this contactor slams down and takes power from the generator to the load that way and disconnects you from utility.
Yep.
So when you're on utility, it's flowing through it. When you're on generator, it comes in the front and down. There's tabs in here that will actually disconnect you from utility and come down and connect you to generator.
Okay.
So things to know here. T1, N1, and N2, these 3 wires coming out the side here, those are 120 volt circuits protected by those 3 fuses right down there, N1, N2, and T1.
Yep.
N1 and N2 is your utility sensing. That's 240 off of your main power. That's how it knows if you lost power or not.
Yep.
T1 comes off of the load side, and it is a 120 volt circuit for the battery charger that's internal to the controller.
Okay.
So if you lose an N1 or N2 fuse, your symptom would be the generator just starts and runs for no reason. You have utility power, but because it lost the fuse, it sees it as an outage.
Yeah.
If you lose the T1 fuse, the controller will literally tell you charger missing AC.
Okay.
Like you lost a fuse. On the bottom here is a fuse puller. You just bust that tab off there.
Yep.
You pull the fuses out, and then this one little fuse right here is a spare.
Okay.
So the one that sits right in there facing you, that's a spare fuse.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all to know here. We can go ahead and do a test now.
Yep.
So when you lose power, it takes about 5 seconds for the generator to start.
Yeah.
Here comes the generator now.
Yep.
And you're going to hear a big thump in here when that thing slams down.
Yep, and that switch kicks.
Yep, and that's what'll take you. So right now there's no power in the house.
Yep, and these are labeled back
And
here.
now you're on emergency power.
Okay.
So when that flips down, you're on emergency power. And from the moment that happened, you got your 5-minute timer that's starting for the air conditioner.
Yep.
So right now the air conditioner will be flashing. And
So-
then in 5 minutes from now, it'll close in and it'll kick back on.
And then it'll turn back on.
Yep.
Cool.
The generator does have what they call a cold smart start built into it.
What's
Meaning,
this? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're
you.
fine.
What's this switch over here?
so that's just an auxiliary limit switch. Customers can use that to go to like a relay or something. Like you can have it notify you. It's just an open and closed switch that changes states when the contactor moves.
That can let you know what's going on or something.
Yeah, it's an auxiliary contact that you can use. I can show you in here real quick. This comes off. I just don't do this any other time.
Yeah.
So these are just arc chutes to protect from the arc whenever they pull down. But you can see the tabs are down.
Yep.
And there's 2 on both sides, and then those can go back up.
Okay.
So I've been doing this a long time. I've seen some crazy stuff as far as that goes, but like a stink bug or something be laying on there when it goes to slam down.
Yeah.
And then you'll have power on one leg and not the other because the
other.
bug's stuck in there. Just stupid stuff like that can happen.
Yeah.
So, and then these here just go on. That's just it's just an arc chute.
Okay.
So then, what I was saying about the cold smart start, the generator has a thermostat inside. If it's too cold out, if it's below freezing, it'll wait an extra 30 seconds from the time it starts the generator to when it lets it transfer. It just gives it 30 seconds to warm up.
Okay.
So when the power comes back on now, roughly less than a minute or so later, you'll see that slam back up. Most of the time you won't even notice it in the house because you're on an outage, the utility power is dead before the generator ever starts. But going back, we have utility power sitting there and it's on generator power. So that instant that it goes back is just a flicker of the lights. That's all you see.
Yep.
So 2 things happened there. When it went back, you started a 1 minute timer on the generator. It runs for 1 minute to cool down and then it shuts off. You also restarted the 5 minute timer for the air conditioner. So 1 minute after that, the generator shuts off. 4 minutes later from then, the air conditioner power comes back on.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all there is to know about this. It's completely automated. As long as that green light's on, you'll have power during an outage.
Everything's in the book too?
Yep, everything's there. The way these covers go in, you got your first cover here. There is a 2 slots up in there that it sits in, and these sit forward. You just run the screw down to hold it. This is a manual transfer handle. It goes through this slot to that little tab I was showing you to where you can manually transfer it if anything were to ever happen. I tell all my customers that if you ever need to manually transfer it, call me. We have 24/7 service as far as that goes, and I can walk you through it on the phone. That is very dangerous if you don't do it the right way. So I won't even try to explain it. Just call me if you ever need to. Something like a coil or something goes bad, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with the generator. We can bypass the coil by manually transferring it and still get you through the outage. Obviously, there's something that needs fixed, but we can get you power until we can get here. So, and then this last cover here just sits over the front. Goes in the bottom, and then this screws in right here. You can put a padlock on this if you want. It's completely up to you.
Cool. Awesome, man.
So that should be it.
I appreciate it.
Yep.